What brought you to the Tetley today? It's dear friends, lunch and a little anxiety.
I've come along today because I saw a message from Leeds Inspired on Facebook, and I didn't know that this building was going to be reused. I'd seen it when it was a brewery, and then saw it get knocked down, so it's just great. But I don't live in Leeds anymore, so I've seen it then, but when I did live in Leeds, but now I've come back to see what it's being used for.
I came here today just really curious in the reuse of old buildings in art, especially because I'm in Manchester. There's a lot of art scene going on using office spaces, and I'm quite intrigued by what's happening financially, with the government and cuts and all that, and artists' responses to that. So I just wanted to see what something like a big building like this is, and how that can contribute to the whole support of the art scene.
Right, I came to the Tetley today because my wife was told me it had opened, and I had in the past been around the brewery and obviously enjoyed some of their fine liquor, and knowing it was part of Leeds history. I used to see the dray horses and so on. I'm giving my age away now, obviously. Quite fascinating to see the boardroom. I'd be interested to come back and see further art and so on. It's a part of the widening landscape, I think, of Leeds is the sort of art and culture. Nice to see old buildings being reused and renovated, and with the general public like myself have access to them as well.
Well, I think that what struck me is that it's just taken a really nice building and turned it into something like a source of regeneration. So supporting something like this is how you get out of a recession. And I'm involved in something where we're trying to start something up, and being on the sharp end of trying to get people interested and do something new and different, you become aware of what people's intentions are and how important it is for people to get involved and support it, even just by turning up. So I just had a really nice cup of tea in the cafe, and it's just a really nice space, and it feels like you can, the economy seeming to turn a corner. It just has that feel of the green shoots of recovery, and it does feel like that, and it is quite uplifting to be sat there in a building that has been transformed and be part of that, albeit just by having a sandwich and a cup of tea.
Well, we parked next door, and I guess the first thing I thought was I've never seen this view of Leeds before, because I just really hadn't, and it's a striking view, even with the back of the flats, like the new flats, so I think it's really working.
I used to live over in Brewery Wharf, so I wanted to I had loads of memories of sort of coming home, and in the fog you'd see the neon lights and stuff with the brewery, and it used to smell. It was all very distinctive, so I wanted to come over and just see what was happening with it. It's been pretty interesting. I think it's interesting because it doesn't feel like a gallery. It doesn't feel so structured. You're just having to wander around and you're discovering, and it feels like it's sort of in a halfway stage between a museum and a gallery. It's pretty cool. Enjoyed it.
We came today because it's a new art space in Leeds. It desperately needs some good art spaces, and this looks to be such a great venue.
So what brought me to the Tetley today was the fact that we live in a flat pretty much opposite here for the last year, so we've been kind of watching the destruction of the old Tetley brewery, and actually the creation of kind of green space and parking, and we can now, due to the pulling down of all the structures that were there previously, we can now see flags from our bedroom window. So flags brought us here today.
What brought me to the Tetley today? I've watched the space changing. I watched it disappointedly, saw everything get mown to the ground. Thought it would turn into a massive car park, and then when I found out that it was going to be an art space, that something interesting was going to happen in the place, I was terribly excited, and that's what brought us here today. That and the hominy pie in the cafe. Yeah, that's about it. It's a beautiful space. That's one minute.
The reason I came to Tetley today was actually I found the link on the website through Inspired Leeds, which I found it's a really good website to use each weekend to find out what's going on. I love the Tetley building because I've been in Leeds now for about 10 years, and it's been fantastic as a student, and started working here like many do. But I love this building in particular because it's a connection to home, which is actually Northamptonshire. Now it's actually a connection to the Carlsberg brewery down there, which I'll see if they've now built links between the two. And it's great because I've been up here for 10 years, it's a little link down home.
Well, we came to the Tetley today because our elder brother who lives in Leeds, we're up here visiting him, and our uncle told us about the Tetley opening, and we just kind of came to have like a little bit of a look. And our elder brother is really interested in the kind of local area and how it's developed quite well, and because this has been such a kind of part of the local economy, we thought we'd come and have a look and we'll see what's kind of left of it.
An old friend who I've known for years, for many years actually, who I'm in contact with via Facebook, mentioned that there was the opening weekend this weekend, so I thought it was good to see a new art space. I thought I'd come down here, see if we've got an offer. I'm always interested in anything new. My wife's an artist, I know that she'll love to come down here as well, so it's kind of good to come down here, tell her what's going on. Anything new is exciting, has potential. It's an interesting space.
What brought you to the Tetley today? The food. How did you hear about the Tetley? On the website and Facebook and I think Twitter I saw it as well.
The question is, how did you hear about the Tetley? And it's interesting because I didn't hear until very recently. I drive past on the south sometimes and I saw that something was happening to the building vaguely, but I think it was quite late that press and media caught onto it. So it's really been only the last 2 weeks that I've become aware that this place is opening, and obviously it must have taken a very long process and very long development to get it looking like it is. So I'm really surprised and pleased, but I didn't see it coming.
I heard about the Tetley from my friend Zara, who works at the Hepworth Gallery, and I'm visiting her because we went to uni together, and we're going to have a look and see what it's about.
Yeah, we just started studying graphic design at the College of Art, and our tutors recommended going down to the Tetley just because they thought it would be interesting for us to go outside of lesson time to soak it up and have a browse and have a look at things inside. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Just we're all new here, just gathering up the scene, just looking around. But yeah, that's what we're doing really.
I heard about it because I saw a picture of the outside on Facebook from a friend yesterday.
How did I hear about the Tetley? I think I just kind of read about it really because I was wondering what was kind of going on my doorstep. 3 words to describe my experience at the Tetley today. Intriguing. The future presentations on like the role of workers in society and the role of the unemployed and things like that seemed very interesting. Maybe a bit Marxist, but quite interesting. Emotive because just walking through here and thinking about the history that's actually occurred in this building just creates a reaction inside you that is quite intense and almost surprising. There's just some kind of, even not being a Tetley drinker or anything like that, you feel some kind of connection with the city that you live in, and Tetley has kind of been a big part in the history of the city, I guess. And the 3rd word, repeatable.
Very interesting.
3 words to describe the experience here today. I would say very impressed with the building, very impressive, interactive and thoroughly enjoyable.
Unexpected, interesting and different.
Exciting, thought-provoking and entertaining.
To describe my experience at the Tetley today, Fascinating, I suspect, intriguing, and kind of heartwarming as well. I think heartwarming is a good word to use.
3 words to describe your view of art and culture in Leeds. 3 words. Young, vibrant, and a little bit unstable.
Art and culture in Leeds, shortage, lacking, improving.
3 words to describe your opinion of art generally. Moving, beautiful, revealing.
What would make you return to the Tetley? Well, it's really easy. I love the atmosphere here. As soon as I step into the hall, it just makes me give me so many ideas. I still want to spend the whole day sitting here, do some writing or do some reading. I think this is a very good space to give people a nice place to think and reflect about themselves and everything about the world.
I've come back to Tetley's again, been here today. It's a beautiful place. It'd be great to see more art in the area, something that is just new for Leeds, because Leeds is a fantastic place for venues. But it's great to see somewhere that's an established institute for food and drink and put new things on.
More good exhibitions and art and installations and culture.
What would make me return to the Tetley? Well, I've got to be honest, I suppose it's same old, really. Pretty interested in art. I suspect it'd be something to do with, a decent art exhibition. That'd be worthwhile.
A babysitter. Stop it.
Sorry.
I don't know yet. It will depend on who's being exhibited. I'd want to see great exhibitions going on. I mean, I know in York recently there was an exhibition by a guy called Bruce Snowman, who I really love his work, and I didn't know it was on. All of a sudden it was, hang on, bother, it's over. So getting big names to come here, I think, will be important. It's such a beautiful space, though. It's a great place just to come and walk around for 20 minutes. So just making sure that people know what's on and what you're aware of, I think, would be really helpful.
It just looks like a fascinating building. It's good to see it in use. I think that's the main thing. And I would come back again because obviously it's going to be changing, there's going to be different things happening. So that's going to be a really interesting space to come and see as it transforms and keeps transforming.
Who, if anyone, would you recommend to come to future events at the Tetley? Have a word with Mr. Sarchi. Actually, I tell you what would be really, really nice. Get a good old Leeds lad in here and get somebody like Damien Hirst to come along and do this stuff. That'd be quite nice.
Am I interested in contemporary art? Yes. I think it's like anything, if you're circumscribed by big things in gold frames, people telling you that something is classic, you're never going to develop your mind and move on because you always have a fixed idea of what is right, what is beautiful, etc, etc, etc. And so it's very important to see contemporary artists sort of subverting things, juxtaposing things in different ways, so that you get new ideas of what is right, what is beautiful, how things can be, how you can change the meaning of something by putting it in the context of something else. And yes, I think that's what I like about contemporary art.
I'm very interested in contemporary art, having been interested in painting for as long as I can remember, from when I was a school child. And it is wonderful that Leeds has now at last got a bigger area to show off complementary art. I've travelled to London, the Baltic, Edinburgh for contemporary art. I'm sitting here so thrilled that we have now at last got somewhere to show off the talents of contemporary art in Yorkshire.
What workshop activity did I take part in? I have done a screen print downstairs and it is drying at the moment.
What we're doing today is starting off in this gallery to see it because it's new. So we've come to walk around, very impressed so far with the building, looking for the art, haven't quite found it. now we're looking for words so we can say that we've contributed to the found poetry.
And I've just done my first ever screen print downstairs as well, right? Nice. So when did you ever think I was going to get a chance to do that? So it's been a good half an hour.
A new experience, great building, really like the light, and I'm really intrigued by the series of talks that are going to be with Field Service.
I would have liked to have seen more colour. I think the space is fantastic. I love the way that the Tetley's been architecturally redeveloped. But there's a lot of black and white, and perhaps I'm just a colour person. And some big splashes of colour would have really brightened me up.
I think I would love to see more local art or international things to make the city and the art gallery even more vibrant and to give me more creative ideas.
I'm a bit confused seeing the building space of where art is going to hang up, and is it going to be an art gallery or is it a performance space, which is exciting to understand how it's going to develop.
Did you have a connection with the Tetley building before today? Well, I live close by, so that was my connection, and I have a friend at Tetley here.
First time back in the building for about 2 years, but spent several years working for Tetley's in this building and many more in the process and laboratory areas. Many ties, many good friends still who work for the company and have moved on to others. Yeah, very emotional coming back.
My dad being a true Yorkshireman, always liked his pint of Tetley, so it's been quite poignant coming here today because sadly my dad's not with us anymore, but he would have loved to have had a look around the building.
My dad's dad, basically my granddad, worked here and was rented a house over there called Chadwick Lodge.
My father was the charge hand, so he worked in the main brew house.
I was interested to see the change in the Tetley site because I worked just over the road at the malt house buildings I used to, and so we saw the gradual demolition of the site, and you just wonder where it's going to go.
I came and saw this space on Monday evening last week, and it was wonderful but wonderfully chaotic with dust absolutely everywhere, and I cannot believe how people have just got it together and what a great welcoming hospitable space it is. I'm hoping to bring some children down next week to do some interactive work. I've just sat on the wonderful interactive seats that have been beautifully designed, but again as a fantastic initiative. I love the fact that you've got panelling on the wall still, which is so unusual in a gallery art space. It makes it more homely. I love the fireplaces. I love the fact that the books are all out that I'm hoping people, me included, when time allows, will interact with. And I just say bravo, bravo to everyone that's been involved. It's a brilliant space and it's just another fantastic thing for Leeds. So thank you.
Yeah, that one, very nice.